Hi, I'm Evan Halper, a national reporter in the Los Angeles Times Washington Bureau, and these are 5 things you should know about Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is a congressman from the Florida Panhandle. He is a quite flamboyant figure. He's a very close loyalist to Donald Trump, and he's been known for his social media antics and all kinds of other antics in the few terms he's been in office. The investigation into Matt Gaetz has to do with sex trafficking. Federal investigators are looking at whether he exchanged money for sex with women. Also, they're particularly looking at whether a 17-year-old victim was involved, which would make this child sex trafficking. The investigation began during the Trump administration. The Department of Justice was looking at sort of an associate of Congressman Gaetz, who's a tax collector in Florida. They indicted him on a sex trafficking charge and other charges. And springing from that indictment, the investigators started looking into Congressman Gaetz. The investigation was approved by former Attorney General Bill Barr under the Trump administration. Congressman Gaetz is denying the allegations. He's saying he never paid for sex. He has not had sex with anyone under the legal age of consent while he's been an adult. He's saying that this is all a setup and a deep state effort to smear him. Not a whole lot of people are coming out in his defense, which is interesting because Gaetz is using the Trump playbook of trying to say, the deep state is against him. They're trying to sideline a vocal conservative critic. He's saying that this is all part of a conspiracy. Those are the kinds of things that Trump would do, and some Republicans would support him. Congressman Gaetz, not so much. It's Republicans are not really coming out and condemning him, but they're trying to stay on the sidelines and see where this goes. The New York Times reported that Congressman Gaetz had asked the White House for a blanket pardon. There was some talk in the final weeks of the Trump administration that Trump was considering giving himself a blanket pardon, considering giving other associates a blanket pardon, so that crimes they had not yet been charged with, they could not be charged with in the future. This is not a thing. This has never happened before, and ultimately Trump was talked out of it, any of these blanket pardons. But obviously this became relevant because of, people would ask, why would Gaetz need a blanket pardon? Well, now, Gaetz, this investigation was going on when he supposedly approached White House officials about such a pardon. Now, President Trump came out on Wednesday and said that Gaetz never asked him for any such pardon. That does not mean, of course, that it was a narrow statement involving Gaetz asking President Trump for a pardon. He didn't say, Congressman Gaetz never asked anyone in my administration about a pardon, which is what the report said. One of the subplots of this story involves 2 GOP operatives approaching Gaetz's father, who was a big politician, and he was the Senate president in Florida, and basically asking him for $25 million to help them rescue an FBI agent who disappeared in Iran more than a decade ago. And apparently one of these operatives also mentioned to Gaetz's dad that he was aware that Matt Gaetz was having some legal trouble and suggested maybe this could help things. So Gaetz is claiming that this was all part of an extortion scheme, and the Justice Department was behind this whole scheme with his dad and the Iranian supposed hostage who's widely believed to be dead. And it's really confused things and given Gaetz a jumping off point to just sort of claim more conspiracy theories and that he's being extorted and set up, and added a bizarre wrinkle to this already crazy story.